You think brown eyes are the most boring and common color? Big mistake.
In reality, you possess the reflexes of a predator. And here are 7 genetic secrets why.
1. Amber, wolf eyes.
Amber eyes. Wolf eyes. This is a word often used way too loosely. Amber. True amber eyes are incredibly rare in humans, though common in the animal kingdom. Think wolves and owls.
Most people confuse amber with hazel, but there's a clear difference. Hazel eyes have a separation of multiple colors.
True amber is a solid block of uniform golden pigment. How does nature pull this off? It's the dominance of pheomelanin, a red-yellow pigment with almost no eumelanin.
It's a genetic anomaly in humans where the stroma is basically free of black pigment that would muddy the color. Geneticists believe these rare colors might be the result of ancient genetic variants that survived in small, isolated populations in Europe.
If you have solid, golden yellow eyes without any green rings, statistically, you have one of the rarest shades of brown on the planet. A hidden advantage. This is purely evolutionary speculation, but amber eyes are often found in predators like wolves. While humans don't have the hardware for a wolf's night vision, possessing this rare pigment structure sets you apart visually in the animal kingdom. The downside. Socially, this eye color can look very intense. Because it's so rare and wild, facial perception studies suggest people with solid amber eyes are often seen as more mysterious or even intimidating compared to a softer, warmer espresso brown.
2. Ash brown, the Tyndall effect.
Ash brown, the Tyndall effect. Not all brown is warm. There is a shade known as ash brown or slate brown.
This causes visual confusion because it looks like a brown eye seen through a gray filter. It lacks the warmth of cognac or honey tones. This specific look is caused by the Tyndall effect occurring deep within the iris.
Here, melanin sits deeper in the stroma, while the outer layer has more collagen interference. Light must pass through a more opaque medium before reflecting back.
This interferes with warm wavelengths, muting reds and yellows, and presenting a cold, steely brown to the viewer. A hidden advantage. Camouflage. This eye color is extremely neutral. It doesn't clash with skin tones or hair colors. It blends in. It's often found in populations with highly mixed ancestry, Eastern Europe, the Middle East, Central Asia. It's genetic proof of 2 distinct lineages, light eye genes and dark eye genes, merging perfectly. The downside. This eye color can sometimes look dull or flat in photos because it doesn't reflect the warm light spectrum.
It's a subtle beauty that requires close contact to be truly appreciated.
3. Cognac, the hidden red tones. Cognac, red tones. Now things get genetically weird. Have you ever seen brown eyes that look red or copper in the sunlight? We call this the cognac or auburn shade. This is where a second type of pigment, pheomelanin, joins the party.
While eumelanin creates brown, pheomelanin introduces yellows and reds. In cognac eyes, the genetic recipe includes a standard amount of brown melanin, but with a mutation spike that creates higher levels of red pigment.
This often correlates with the MC1R gene, the same gene family responsible for red hair and freckles. You don't have to be a redhead to have cognac eyes, but somewhere in your family tree, an ancestor likely carried those fiery traits. A hidden advantage. The advantage here is vitamin D synthesis. The same genetic pathway that allows for these red tones is often linked to skin types that produce vitamin D more efficiently in low sunlight. Your ancestors likely adapted to move away from the equator, and your eyes are a remnant of that journey.
The downside. Because you have slightly less eumelanin than obsidian types, you're more sensitive to UV radiation.
You don't have built-in heavy-duty sunglasses, so you need to be more careful about eye protection compared to your darker-eyed cousins.
4. Russet and gold, the scattering effect.
Russet and gold, the scattering effect. When we lower the volume of melanin, we enter russet or honey brown territory.
This is where physics takes over. Remember how the sky is blue because of Rayleigh scattering? Well, that same effect happens in your eyes too. When the stroma has less melanin, it becomes translucent. Light enters, hits collagen fibers, and scatters. In honey brown eyes, you have a just right situation. You have some melanin, yellow, light brown, mixed with some blue scattering from the collagen. Yellow plus a hint of blue creates a rich, golden, almost metallic look. It's literally the physics of light mixing with biology.
A hidden advantage, the chameleon effect. Because this shade relies partly on light scattering, it's very responsive to the environment.
In a dim room, they look brown. In direct sunlight, the scattering kicks in, and they burst into a golden honey color.
You actually have a built-in dimmer switch in your eyes that changes your look based on the weather.
The downside, with great beauty comes great sensitivity. You're entering the medium risk zone for photophobia, light sensitivity.
You might find yourself squinting on cloudy days when the sky is white and glary, something people with espresso eyes rarely deal with.
5. Obsidian, the ancient shield.
Obsidian, the ancient shield, often mistaken for black eyes. Physically,
If you completely lacked iris structure, you'd have a medical condition called aniridia. What you're seeing here is obsidian brown-black. This is the heavy artillery of eye color. In these eyes, the eumelanin concentration is so dense that it absorbs nearly 99% of the light hitting the iris.
The stroma is saturated, leaving very little light to scatter back out, creating a smooth, bottomless look. Evolution doesn't waste energy creating pigment for no reason. This shade is humanity's original blueprint, developed in the hottest, sunniest latitudes to act as premium biological sunglasses. A hidden advantage. This is a high-performance eye. Because high melanin levels absorb stray light so effectively, people with obsidian eyes naturally struggle less with glare.
You likely have better vision in extremely bright environments compared to your blue-eyed friends.
There's also a fascinating the downside. You might feel things more intensely. A preliminary study showed a link between genes regulating dark eyes and a lower tolerance for physical pain compared to light eyes.
So while you might react faster, the impact might hurt a bit more.
6. Espresso, the coffee shade. Shade number 2, espresso. A slight drop in density, and we get to espresso, or coffee brown. This is the most common variant, but it hides a secret texture. Because the melanin isn't as tightly packed as the obsidian shade, we start to see the topography of the iris. You might notice small craters or grooves. These aren't defects, they are windows into the deeper stroma. A hidden advantage. Believe it or not, the advantage here might be tolerance for alcohol. A study from Georgia State University found that people with classic dark brown eyes statistically show a higher sensitivity to alcohol, meaning they get buzzed faster than blue-eyed people. Why is this an advantage? Because it naturally prevents overconsumption. Research suggests brown-eyed populations are statistically less likely to develop alcohol dependence because their bodies signal to stop much earlier. The downside. The flip side is purely aesthetic. You usually need direct sunlight to show off the details in your eyes. Indoors, they can look flat, hiding the complex 3D crypt structure that makes them so beautiful. 7. The genetic mosaic. Starburst pattern, a genetic mosaic. Finally, we have the graphic designer brown eyes, the starburst style. This isn't a color, it's a pattern. Look closely, and you see a dense chocolate brown ring around the pupil, which then explodes outward into streaks of gold, green, or hazel. This is often a form of central heterochromia. It happens when pigment cells run out of steam halfway through the iris's development in the womb.
They fill the center with melanin, but as the iris expands outward, the pigment supply slows down, leaving the outer ring lighter.
A hidden advantage, the focus trick. This pattern creates a mesmerizing bullseye effect. Because the human brain is wired to notice contrast, when people look at you, their attention is drawn directly to your pupils. It makes your eye contact feel significantly more intense and engaging than someone with a solid eye color. You are biologically designed to hold attention. The downside? The only drawback here is confusion. You'll probably spend your whole life arguing with people about what color your eyes actually are. Are they brown? Are they green? Are they hazel? You'll never get a straight answer because you are truly a genetic hybrid.
8. Variable brown, the optical illusion.
Color shifting based on light. There's a strange phenomenon often overlooked: obsidian eyes in the shade that transform into fiery cognac or honey in the sun.
This isn't magic. It's the depth of photon penetration. You possess a unique, multi-layered iris structure. In low light, the melanin density in the top layer creates a dark appearance that's nearly jet black. But under direct sunlight, high-energy photons pierce this barrier, illuminating the red or yellow stroma hidden deep below. You don't have one fixed eye color. You have an optical system that adapts to the environment. 9. The sensitivity paradox, a glitch in the matrix. Photophobia in dark eyes. Theory says obsidian eyes are biological sunglasses, but reality is much more complex.
Many dark-eyed individuals experience extreme sensitivity to sunlight, leading to constant squinting or sneezing.
Why does the melanin shield fail? The answer might lie in your natural pupil size. If the neural mechanism controlling your pupils reacts slowly or keeps them wider than average, the amount of light hitting the retina will be overwhelming regardless of iris color. Melanin protects the iris, but your nervous system is the real gatekeeper that determines glare.
10. The limbo ring, the border of youth.
Visual contrast. A common trait in the most captivating brown eyes isn't the color, but the border.
It's a dark black circle surrounding the brown or honey iris. This is called the limbal ring. It's the border where the transparent cornea meets the white sclera.
Biologically, a bold, clear limbal ring is a sign of health and youth. It creates separation, making the whites of the eyes look brighter and the eye color appear more vivid due to the contrast effect. If you have this trait, you possess a natural beauty filter built in since birth.
11. The abyss effect, social perception.
A piercing gaze. There's an interesting social aspect for those with obsidian or very dark brown eyes. Others often feel intimidated or comment that your gaze is emotionless or too intense.
This is a psychological effect of communication. In light-colored eyes, people can clearly see pupil dilation, an unconscious emotional signal. With obsidian eyes, the boundary between the pupil and iris is completely blurred. Others can't read your microsignals, causing their brains to categorize you as mysterious or unpredictable. You aren't emotionless, you just possess a biologically perfect poker face. 12. Redhead legacy. The recessive gene rises.
The ruby connection, a fascinating genetic phenomenon, occurs in people with dark skin who possess cognac or reddish-brown eyes.
This is often a sign of a hidden redhead gene in the family tree. Melanin doesn't act independently. Recessive genes from ancient ancestors, often linked to Celtic or Nordic people, can lie dormant for generations and suddenly manifest in your eye color. Fiery reddish-brown eyes against dark skin aren't just an aesthetic contrast. They are living proof of migration and genetic mixing over millennia. 13. Structure. Beyond the starburst. Hidden blue. Some brown eye variants go beyond the typical starburst phenotype. This is when your eyes are predominantly brown but feature a green or smoky gray outer ring. You are on the edge of true Hazel territory. Rayleigh scattering, creating blue, is fighting a fierce battle against eumelanin, creating brown, right inside your iris. The result is an undefined color that shifts wildly depending on the color of your shirt or the humidity in the air. You are a nightmare for ID paperwork when trying to pinpoint exactly if your eye color is brown or green. 14. Health signals. The fading. Pigment degradation. Sometimes dark brown eyes can turn light brown or a cloudy yellow as people age or experience illness. This isn't evolution, it's degeneration. The iris can lose pigment or be covered by lipid buildup, arcus senilis, as the body ages. Or in cases of anemia and immune disorders, the metabolism of pigment cells is disrupted. If your eyes change color significantly without it being due to light, it's time your body is sending a signal, warning from within.
15. The darkness advantage. Night vision. An ironic adaptation. Contrary to the daytime glare issues, some brown eyes have superpowers in the dark.
This is related to the reduction of light noise. By absorbing scattered light rays that cause glare inside the eyeball, brown eyes provide sharper visual contrast in low-light conditions.
While blue-eyed people are struggling with halos from streetlights, your brown eyes are filtering out the interference to focus on the target.
You might not see in total darkness like a cat, but you process low-light images much more cleanly.
If you want to discover many incredible things that others are too afraid to touch, hit the subscribe button right now. And if you've already hit subscribe, welcome home.